volunteers, all present and accounted for, sir.
Ship company, all present and accounted for, sir. Sir, Shawnee company, Kentucky volunteers, all present and accounted for, sir.
Sir, Lightning Detective, James Company, spies and scouts, all present, sir.
Oh, you saw that.
All present or accounted
When they
for,
get
sir.
desperate, they get hold of it.
Sir, Washington company, Kentucky volunteers, all present and accounted for, sir. Sir, Battalion de Leon, all present and accounted, sir.
Louisiana, result.
Sir, United States Marines, all present and accounted for, sir.
He looks very elegant.
Sir, White's Company, 7th United States Infantry, all present, accounted for, sir.
Sir, Rollins Company, 7th U.S. Infantry, all present or accounted for, sir. Sir, McClellan's Company, 7th U.S. Infantry, all present or accounted for, sir. Sir, Vale's Company, 7th United States Infantry, all present, sir. Sir, New Orleans City Rifles, all present accounted for, sir.
First Sergeant, to the right and left, safe. To your post, march. And your post.
They are going to form up and begin their advance. You see the rockets going up as the signals that the British have come into view. Congrave rockets existed at this time. They actually are more designed for disruption than they are actually destructive. But they were used as signals to the surrounding troops. Again, keep in mind, as this is happening, coming into view will be roughly 8,000 battle-hardened British troops. Behind this wall would be roughly 5,000, mostly untested American troops. It is a battle between a professional and a volunteer army. As soon as the British came into view, as I mentioned, the artillery would have opened fire. The advantage of the Americans with their more artillery and heavier cannon began to take a toll almost immediately as the British began to come across the field.
So the British are coming across, but you just can't see them.
British are now advancing within musket and rifle range. They're breaking into their two assault columns, one which will come along the river, the other against the wood line. The reason the main attack is coming along the wood line is because of the success of the British on the reconnaissance in force on December 28th. They had found the American left flank to be very weak But what they did not know that because of that, Jackson had extended his line well out into the woods to the fact that all the way to the fact that the Tennesseans, some of them were waist deep in the water, defending that line to make sure the British could not possibly get around. As they advance, American sharpshooters and riflemen would take a special toll to make targets of the British officers. The number of British officers that will fall in this battle will be a huge proportion of their losses. The British are advancing shoulder to shoulder, rank upon rank. And as I said earlier, try to imagine bowling pins in a bowling alley. This is the way the Napoleonic Wars were fought.
There goes the card for Chalmette's damage. Smoke grenade.
Checked it out yesterday.
This is so awesome. So awesome.
Friday and see the one at night, and I missed it. How cool I would have looked at night seeing other flag.
You can get a sense of all the noise and the smoke generated by the number of troops that would have been on this field. And you can get a sense of the confusion of a Napoleonic battle.
There's the British flag. Barely see it, but it's there.
Another reason for the American success is a period musket can be loaded 2 to 3 times a minute. With a okay. Okay, we're back in business. You can see now the British are beginning to make their push. Here over near on the right, near the river, they're pushing toward the redoubt. Over on the left, they're pushing toward the left flank of the American line and the main assault. And as I was saying earlier, one of the reasons for the American success is that behind this line they are 3 to 4 deep. And so that the line in front would fire, fall back, the next line would step up, fire, fall back, almost like a machine gun of modern-day weaponry. Line after line would move forward and fire, pouring a deadly musketry and rifle fire, as well as the artillery, into the oncoming British forces. You will notice the Americans making that maneuver, especially down there on the left. You can see one line stepping up as the other line falls back to reload. You can see the blue and white coats of Beale's riflemen now rushing into the redoubt to prepare themselves for the British rush.
Yeah, they went around.
The British troops are now shifting to their left. They're massing in front of the redoubt, which guarded Jackson's position along the river. Under the command of Colonel Rennie, their job was to take this redoubt and fight their way into the... And here comes the attack now. Colonel Rennie's men would swarm over the redoubt and inside. For a few moments, the battle hung in the balance as the British held the redoubt. The 7th Infantry and Beale's riflemen would counterattack, and in hand-to-hand combat with rifle butt and bayonet would force the British back out of the redoubt. Colonel Rennie falling, mortally wounded in the defense. As Rennie's attack fails, the British attack is beginning to fall apart. The officers commanding the British force begin to come forward. General Gibbs rides toward the main assault column. General Packingham will come up shortly behind him as they try to rally the British soldiers in front of the rampart to urge them forward. The redoubt has been retaken, and the artillerymen and Beale's riflemen and the 7th Infantry have held their ground.
Right there. Insane. So cool.
General Gibbs, commanding the right British column, trying to rally his men against the rampart, would be hit and mortally wounded. General Keane, the commander of the left British column, here at the redoubt, would be carried off the battlefield with a serious wound.
were there yesterday? This is so cool.
Oh yeah, we went there yesterday too before the artillery battle.
As the main attack on the British right also begins to falter, the 93rd Highlanders were sent from General Keene's command diagonally across the field, across the face of the entire American line. As their officers would be decimated, the unit would actually stop without orders and hold their ground until they were given new orders. And while in that position, they would be decimated by the full fire of the American line. Their commanding officer would also be down. General Packingham, the brother-in-law of the famous Duke of Wellington, now seeing his troops totally disorganized, would ride forward himself to try to rally his men for one more push at the American line.
I just hope I get some off.
Oh yeah.
As the American fire intensified, General Packingham is hit and mortally wounded. The British attack now becomes completely disorganized. General Packingham mortally wounded. General Gibbs, mortally wounded. General Keene, seriously injured. General Lambert will bring up the British reserves. General Lambert looks around and looks at what is happening and decides that the attack is not going to be successful. General Lambert, not wanting to risk his reserve, will slowly begin to recall the British assault force. About the time General Lambert begins his withdrawal, a signal rocket would be fired from the west bank of the river, signaling the complete success of the British forces on the west bank of the river in capturing the American artillery and infantry positions. But by that point, the success on the west bank will not allow Lambert to continue the assault here on the east bank.
Back here. Trying to get a good one for this flag. Oh, yeah. We need to probably follow. We need to get a screen check.
Field, I guess. Fire. They're yelling ceasefire. Everyone. Ceasefire.